I'm conducting an interview. This is my father. He is very old, as you can see.
Yep, old.
He comes from the bygone era of video games and arcades, and he's going to tell you his memories. Alright. So you used to work in a family restaurant / bar that had arcade machines.
We did. We had a great game room.
I want to hear about all these arcade machines. You tell the story.
Well, back then when I was a kid, I mean, arcade room we had the best arcade around. I mean, you used to have to, the only other way to play arcade rooms was to go to the mall. Which means you had to go shopping for clothes and stuff.
Right.
And you had to go in one area with everybody else. But
no kid wants to go clothes shopping.
Nobody wants to go clothes shopping back then, so that was not it. But at the restaurant, at the bar at the time, we had the biggest game room around. It was great. We had everything from pool tables to air hockey to pinball games to all the newest arcade games like Defender and, you know, Asteroids and stuff like that came out. Had jumping game, motorcycle games, Evel Knievel. That was a cool game.
Now, it became a family restaurant later, but it used to be like a rock, like bowl, like a music bowl.
One of the biggest rock and roll clubs on the East Coast.
Back in the 70s and early 80s, Emmetts Inn, a rock club located in Jamesburg, New Jersey, was the place to go for great live music. Many bands came through the club in its time. Twisted Sister even sang my father happy birthday when he was a teen. Later on, this rock club would become a family restaurant and pub. It still holds some legacy as there is an active Facebook group all about looking back on this place. There's also some nice articles written about it that I'll leave in the description of this video. Now, did it have machines at that time, or did it?
It did.
Right.
That was it. You know, we had a big game room back then.
Oh, yeah. The Emmetts Inn, the rock club, shows a lot of times of, you know, playing the games, drunk with the band playing. Sounds like a fun time.
Oh, it was great. It was a great time back then when we were young, when it was really big rock and roll. But during the day, we got to play video games, and you know, once we got done cleaning the bar. But yeah, we had all the games that everybody wanted to play, so we always had lots of friends that wanted to come help us clean the bar, because they'd all get to play video games with us when we were done.
That's a pretty good deal.
So I mean, you just couldn't come up there. You had to be of age to play, you know. So basically, you couldn't go up as a kid. It wasn't a kid's place, unless you knew the owner's kids, where you can come in and help them clean the bar, and then we'd all get to play, which was fun, you know. But back then it was because. I mean, nowadays you guys are spoiled because you guys have Xbox games and stuff. I mean, the games at home that you get to play are a lot better. Back when I was a kid, we had Pong and a few other ones which were dot games.
Back then, all the consoles were trying to emulate the arcade and try to get close.
But they weren't even close.
The machines were too powerful at the arcade.
Machines were great back then. They were just sucked quarters in all day, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't get the effects of a pinball game or shuffleboard, or couldn't play that at home on an arcade game. You still can't, but
yeah, stuff like pinball and the physical things you really can't replicate at home.
Nope, not on the little arcade games. You got to have the real thing, or you can't really get the feel for the machines.
Yeah, you
and stuff.
need the whole point of pinball is the physical machine itself. Like you need the noise of the ball hitting and shit.
Yeah, you gotta have it. I mean, the pinball, you gotta be able to shake that thing and smack it, and you know, without tilting it. But I mean, it was great games back then. There's still games. I wish, you know, I'd love to have a few of them back now.
Yeah.
You know, like you got your Space Invaders and the rest of the games. I mean, you can play that in little games now or Breakout, but I mean, you had all different games. You know, nowadays, you go to the movie theater, there might be a few games playing around.
The arcades don't like as big as they will.
Not like back then. No, that was it. Just nobody had them, and like I said, yeah, the other option was at the mall, one little small section at the mall that the older kids played at, hung out at, which you were always told, don't go in the arcade. The big kids are there, you know. And they always had the biggest kid in the world standing outside as a bouncer, you know. Tiny or something they'd call him. Big person. I'll just say that, you know.
Big fat person.
Yeah, that's it, you know.
It's fat like you and me.
Yeah, I get a job as security at the mall now.
You're going to be the bouncer at the movie theater.
I can be the bouncer at the movie theater. That's funny.
You can be the bouncer at that fake arcade I said about
True.
Now, what decade? You know, obviously when I went to the bowl, with the restaurant now, restaurant and bowl, I went there in 2012 and there was still some arcade games, you know, a few. But so obviously it's been there the whole time. But like, what decade are we talking? Like 70s and
70s was really good at the games. Well, back then you were young, you know, you wanted to play video games. From 8, 10, I mean, the games were great. You played pinball stuff, the 70s, and then in the 80s, you know, early 80s, 70s, 80s was all games, and then, you know, that's what it was. I mean, you had your pool table, you know, everybody shot pool and stuff. But, yeah, your, you know, air hockey games and stuff. Yeah, shuffleboard, and, you know, which was the one with the pins, not the long ones like at the old people bars and stuff.
Right.
You know? Not the old one where you just knock the pucks off.
That's the thing too. Like with an arcade, it's not just the games; it's the physical games that go too, like the air hockey and the pinball. Obviously, like I think with the arcade thing too, it's just like, you know, you do it with friends or something, or people. It's the social aspect.
I remember getting there in the morning, all the power be off at the bar.
Yeah.
And you turn the switches on for all the power, for all the lighting, so we can get started on it. And you hit that game room noise, and you hear a Defender start up, and Asteroids and Space Invaders. You'd hear, they'd be talking to you when you first got there. You know you couldn't play until you were done cleaning the bar. You couldn't play any games until the bar was done. You know, nobody was allowed to start playing early.
Yeah, they get the work done.
So we got the work done, and that was it. Playing games.
And get the sleeve of quarters.
Yep, that was it. Get the painted quarters. We had painted red quarters.
Oh, so you know which ones to keep.
So my parents, they got them back every time. So basically, we cleaned the bar for nothing because we got our quarters, and when they came and got the money out of the machines, they got all the painted ones back. Yeah. So basically, we were just cleaning guys, you know.
Yeah. So you get the free game. Nice. You and Mike would play the games?
Me and Mike would play all the games, and it was competition. And
Mike was always, you guys had the pinball thing, right? The competition?
Me and him, we used to play pinball all the time, and then we had this one guy who worked with us, John Brown. He used to play pretty good pinball too. We used to all just get on it and we'd have games, you know. It'd be arguments as usual, you know. Who was better at what and who was, you know. Yeah. Everybody had their ways and stuff. Someday you were better than other people, and the next day you were the best, or, you know.
The winning streak.
Yeah.
Well, that's the pinball. I was never good at it, but you should have had one technique where you let the ball roll down the plunger a little bit and then launch
catch it on the flipper, you catch it and stop it instead of trying to double flipper.
Right, so you can aim it.
You watch the new guys that play, they're always double flipping, double hitting, always, instead of using the right flipper or the left, they'd be flipping both buttons, you know?
Sometimes you get the complicated one that has the extra flip all up of it. So you gotta plan around that.
Yeah, they're good ones, you know?
Yeah. What are some of the arcade games you remember?
I remember playing, a game called Evil Knievel. We used to jump buses and stuff and cars. That was cool. That was a good one. You know, you had to land on the ramp or on the wheel, or you were like Evil, crashing every time you did it, you know? And there was racing games. We used to race. I remember this one where it was original like racing cars, and you'd go around the track and you'd pass on the left and stuff. But it wasn't digital. It was more like it looked like a car almost going.
Right.
That one, and then I remember we used to play. There was a dart game where you had controllers and you had to release at the time, and it looked like the dart flew in the air and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
There's cool stuff we had back then. But yeah, I mean, but then you got the Asteroids, which was more started off. You know, you had your Space Invaders and stuff like that. But then became more intense. Then you wound up with the Asteroids, and then you wound up with Defender, which was more complicated. They got complicated as they got better. You know.
Right.
So that meant it took you more quarters because you put one in, you're dead in about 5 seconds. Hit your put another quarter and keep going, you know. Like pinball, you knew you had 3 or 5 balls or whatever, 3 balls. Yeah. You know, it took a while. Well, the new games like Defender and stuff. I mean, you You got your guy out of control. You were dead. You hit and died, and that was it. You know, it's not like.
All right.
But nowadays, we were at the arcade and movie theaters. What, $2 to play a game now?
All right.
Ridiculous.
You know too. So the arcades they got more complicated because you go some of the first arcades. What the history of arcades is kind of debated because like even back in like the 1800s you had like entertainment rooms as physical machines, but they didn't really count as an arcade. But like the actual beginning of like arcade machines and stuff, they started super basic. Pong was an arcade machine and it looked like a giant tree stump. It was carved out of wood. It was the prehistoric arcade. And then it progressed on, and you got the asteroids and stuff, and Pac-Man came later.
I forgot about Pac-Man. Yeah,
That's
Pac-Man
like
was
the big
good.
one.
Pac-Man was really good too. Yeah, your Centipedes and all the other ones eventually came out. You know.
Yeah, we played Centipede on the intense game.
Yeah.
The intense one.
Yeah, we had some good games. We used to have lots of. I mean, all the new ones came out. We wound up with all the newest games.
Yeah.
Because it was arcade. We had a real big arcade at the restaurant, at the bar. I mean, so it was always the newest games wound up there. So the newest one, they make a brand new game, it would wind up there because the bar generated so much business for them. You know, they were putting their newest games in there. People were coming out. A lot of people. You know, come out for rock and roll, but they come out. That game room was always full. Like when the bands weren't playing, they were always in there playing. You know, people.
It's like it adds an extra reason to go. But also, like when you guys get like a rock band playing, and you got the amount of people you got showing up for the concert, like that's got to be big money for the arcade too. It's like a nice venue to put your machines.
Especially new games too. The newest games they had on the market. You know, we got to see them firsthand. All the newest ones that came out. You know.
Yeah.
That weren't out, all of a sudden you get a brand new game. It's like, what is that game? You know,
right? That combined with the consoles.
And the guy would show up and would set up the game, and he would throw on like 4 or 5 credits, just hit the button and leave it. You know, we get to play those to start. You know,
try to learn the game before it eats their quotas away.
Yeah, before we got to put money in.
Yeah.
But it was definitely that was the highlights of when you were a kid playing video games.
Right.
Nowadays, you guys all just got your great Xbox units, and you got the new ones. Now you got the new ones with the mask on your face, where it's like 3D, and you're just running around crazy. You know.
Reality. I mean, I'm still hooking over the Atari and shit. I own. But I'm not. Most people nowadays they just play on the computer or whatever. Meanwhile, I'm having ColecoVision games come in and weird game consoles that nobody's even heard of.
Yeah, other people's junk out of the garage.
And so the
old stuff.
At work, they'll be talking about new games, and then I can't be like, "Can I ever play on the game console the Bally Astrocade or the Arcadia 2001 and all this random shit that nobody knows about?"
If you had it made, you'd have a big garage full of asteroid games and video games, like more like pinball games and stuff, you know?
Yeah, it'd be cool. The only downside is you have to learn how to repair the machines yourself and shit.
True.
And they sell like those new ones on Walmart, like the remake, like the arcade 1-up. I believe they're called. But the issue is they're not that tall, and they're not the
Oh, you can't shake them. You can't shake them games.
These are real tiny. Like
I've seen them,
yeah. You want like the big machine.
You need to weight the machine so it doesn't move.
Yeah. You need like the full-sized one. Monroe has a 1-up game too. The Let's Play Cafe or whatever.
Yeah.
I went there one time. It's not bad. So let's just say you go into an arcade now. Like, what's your go-to machine?
Something I can win. Something I can play. Something I can remember. Like Pac-Man, there's always there's a way you start and go through the machine that you always. Once you get on it, it's like you started off like riding a bike. You remember how to run the pattern and stuff, you know, where you go up, down, around, and through the thing, and just
wait by the one dot for them to get close.
Yeah, you remember how to do it. How you used to clear screen after screen, because we used to do it all the time.
Right. We played at the Red Robin. They had that Miss Pac-Man machine too.
Yeah. Well, I never played Miss Pac-Man much when we were young. We played Pac-Man, the original one was out for a while. That was the one we used to play all the time.
Miss Pac-Man is basically Pac-Man just up upgraded and updated.
Oh yeah, they're good. I mean, they're all good games. I mean, they just keep you going, you know, keep your mind working, and you got to remember stuff. If you do the same stupid thing over and over, it costs you lots of money. So if you learn some way to get you through the game, less quarters, you know, more time on the game. The longer you can play, the better off you were back then, you know. You didn't have a limited supply of money, you know. It was a matter of, you know.
Hey, well, we went to that one arcade. I think it shut down, sadly, but that Game Works, I went out in Seattle.
Oh yeah.
That was nice. I remember, first of all, the free food or whatever. Yeah, the little burgers and shit. I remember they had the old ones too. You're not big on Missile Command, but I can play a mean game of Missile Command.
I don't really like Missile Command that much.
And then
it's one of those ones that really didn't care as much to play.
I told you the philosophy of Missile Command. You got to get intense to it. But I remember I was playing that one Rambo game. I had the 2 AK-47s. Yeah, you'd have to have some real strong arms to do the kickback with 2.
Yeah, definitely.
And the issue of playing air hockey, they hit the puck out of the table.
We used to have air hockey. I remember watching that puck fly right off the table many times, you know. It used to fly off the table all the time. I mean, you just give it a good, just airborne it. So yeah, it was games. Like I said, we had all kinds of games. You know, you had games we haven't played in a long time. Like, I mean, I haven't shot pool. If I go to the bar, that's about it. And I used to play really good. And now I don't even play. Couldn't even play with shit.
I'm not big on pool. When I tried, I was at Zach's for that one party, the Z-Man, as you people know him. But that was probably a combination of the 10 beers, but trying to hit that ball.
Yeah, we used to be real good at it. We played in pool leagues all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, nowadays I couldn't. I still remember how to play it. Just my abilities aren't as good as they used to be anymore. You know.
Hey, it happens.
Maybe I need to drink more when I'm down there. That'll be better.
Not drunk enough. You have to stick to the pool tabs now.
Stick to the things I'm good at. Sitting at the bar with the old people, and that's about it. Drinking shots of beers till you get done.
Trying to flag down the bartender. The Wild West Saloon. It's all that gun smoke. That's what probably watching Gunsmoke, so making you want to go to the bar. Go down to the old saloon after.
Yeah, that's what I wish it was like that. You know, put the bottle on the bar, we'll drink it, and we'll feel good. You know.
And instead, you get cut off. That guy cut you off after like 2 beers.
No, he didn't cut us off for 2 beers.
Well, it was on the rocks vodka.
Hour and a half down there, we drank $200 worth of liquor.
Well, he doesn't understand.
I think, yeah, he had a reason to cut you off.
I have a high tolerance.
Yeah, I know. Blasted.
You got any more?
You gotta learn to pace yourself younger.
So it's fucking. Once you're on, it's like that guy in that movie riding the nuke down. You know, you're going all the way. But you got any more arcade memories you can think of? Specific stories?
I remember playing down the shore last time I was down there with Cape May. With my brother and my son.
Yeah, that's it. Did we go to an arcade?
You guys were fighting.
Yeah, because we and Mike and mini golf.
You and Mike and mini golf.
He was tapping the ball too much. There's a limit to tapping the ball.
You guys were cheating.
I'm not calling him a cheater, but the tapping the ball is excessive. That'd be like if you're playing football and you're like, I get to run the ball down unattacked. A few lines, you know.
Yeah, I know he was cheating.
It adds up. Well, part of the problem was I got the hole in one at the first one.
And then you sucked after that.
Yeah, it was all downhill from there. That was the problem.
Yeah. And then we went to the arcade, played pinball and stuff. Remember?
Oh yeah, Mike, and he's holding that pinball record.
Me and Mike played, and I beat him, and he got all mad. Remember?
Yeah. It's like a board game, you know. You play a game of Sorry or something, they can turn people against each other. It was the competition.
Well, back then when I was young, we were younger than that. I mean, we had board games at homes and stuff. Like you said, Sorry and the rest of those games, Monopoly. We had board games when we were a kid. We didn't go over to your house and play, you know, Halo or something like you guys do. I mean, you guys got the better advantage than we had, you know.
Yeah. We
had board games, you know, and stuff like that, which is what we did back then. I mean, board games were more creative. I mean, that's why I said we had the restaurant, which at the bar, the nightclub, Emmetts Inn,
Right.
which had the best arcade room around out of anybody in the area.
Right,
Even better than the mall.
when your parents own it, so you can go.
Oh, we were there, yeah. Well,
Oh, there you were working.
we were working
Is that
too.
a free ride?
But we had friends that always wanted to play. They knew the game room up there. The word spread. You bring one friend up to the bar, up to the bar to clean with you,
Right.
and he tells everybody how great it was, and everybody else says, "Hey, can I come help you on this? Can I help you Saturday?"
Yeah.
And everybody wants to go to the bar with you,
Yeah, it sounds like a nice time.
Everybody wants to wipe tables, put chairs down, and then everybody wants to play games,
Yeah, it's a good thing I done that out there. If Edmonton was still the way it was, and be getting drunk playing the arcade game.
Yeah.
I'd have built a jar of maraschino cherries.
That's it. Coke. I knew it was Coca-Cola because it always had a speed
Oh,
gun.
I'd be mixing Coke, vodka, and cherries.
Yeah, at 10 years old, you'd be, huh?
Oh, not 10, now.
Now you would, yeah. Now you drink the bar dry. That's just it. Not anymore.
Yeah, changing times. It's good to look back. Hey, it's the arcade. The only thing I'm looking out for is I've yet to find a super breakout arcade machine in person.
Yeah, find the old games. I'm sure we'd find one if we went down the beach or something.
It's probably one somewhere.
If we went down the beach, they always had the old arcades, like down in, I remember the last one we were down was in Oregon, I think.
Yeah.
Down in Seaside, Oregon. They have games down there too,
That one was fun too. It's gone downhill now. It's more about gambling games, I hear. But Chuck E. Cheese back in the day, like the kid arcade.
Well, we used to take you there. It was
Yeah,
alright.
that
Chuck E.
fireman
Cheese.
game, I remember that one was cool. That'd be one I'd love to own in person.
Well, Chuck E. Cheese wasn't bad. I mean,
Yeah.
but
It's kid oriented.
now it's better. They even actually serve beer there for adults.
Yeah, but the machines were
Back
down
when we
there.
first started taking guys, they didn't serve beer or nothing. It
Yeah.
was just straight up soda and a nasty looking pizza.
Yeah,
And a lot of money out of my pocket
the
usually.
bill's probably watered down. It's the only one.
It cost me a lot more than I wanted to spend back then too on that kind of stuff.
How much was the pizza?
It wasn't worth what I had to pay back
Probably
then.
overpriced.
Overpriced.
Not that great.
It was like I forgot what it was, but it wasn't that great, And
Yeah.
the games were all right, You played for little tickets and you got little games. Well, it was all right, but
Yeah. I like that one arcade game too. You rolled the ball down the ramp. And,
skeet ball,
yeah,
yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah, we used to play that. That was always,
If you're rich, you could own a skeet ball thing in your house for 7-1.
You get a regular bowling lane and stuff set up
Yeah.
if you wanted to,
Oh, I haven't gone bowling in like a millennia.
We used to do that too.
Yeah. Very
But like I
American
said, the
food.
video games were the best, That's
Yeah.
what we had. We had good video games. Other than that, it was...
Oh, it's good to go.
Memories
down
are good back then.
memory lane.
There's games I like, I wish I had a few of them,
Right.
I mean, there was some good, really good pinball games back then and stuff that, I'd like to have, But, I mean, we had all kinds of games,
Right.
They were spread out all around the room, so it was, you had your main wall, you go in, your game, they were spread out pretty good at one point. There was all kinds of them, depending on how much pace they were,
Right.
But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Hey, memory lane.
Memory lane.
I toast to memory lane.
Toast
There's
to
nothing
memory
in
lane.
these cups. They're props.
Nothing. Time for a beer, I think. It's beer 30 somewhere.
Yeah, time for a little on the rocks, maybe.
Cheers. All right, man.
Aye.
Good conversation.